Hello and welcome. I'm Rudy, and I'm happy to have you here in our Thrive Community Weekly Call. And tonight, we're going to focus on the topic of how to move from potential to purpose and what to do with that great idea that perhaps you've been sitting on and you're not sure specifically what to do about that. So, I'm glad you're here. You're in the right place, and hoping that you'll find something of value as we move through just a quick presentation on this very important topic. And so, to kick us off, I'd like to start with a story that's found in a parable that Jesus told in the Gospels in the book of Matthew, Matthew 26, 14 through 30. And in this story, it talks about a rich master preparing to go away on a long journey. But before he left, he called in his three servants and entrusted to each one of them a portion of his wealth. To the first servant, he gave 5 talents. To the second, he gave 2 talents. And to the third, he gave 1 talent. And so, by the way, this parable is where we get our modern word talent, which signifies skill or special or natural ability. But in Jesus' time, a talent was simply a coin equal to about 20 years' wages of a laborer. 1 talent in today's equivalent is somewhere between 500,000 to $1 million. For the purpose of this story, think of it as a resource, a skill, an idea, or an opportunity. The rich master went away, and the first two servants immediately put their talents to work. They invested in them, and they saw a return. The first servant doubled the 5 talents to 10, and the second servant doubled the talents by 2. So he ended up with 4 talents. But the third servant, afraid of losing the 1 talent that he was given, what did he do? He buried it in the ground. And when the master returned, he called the servants together to give an account. The first two servants were praised and they were rewarded for being responsible and multiplying what was entrusted to them. But the third servant, who had buried his talent, had his entrusted wealth taken away and given to the first servant who had doubled the master's investment. And then that individual was cast aside for failing to take action. Now, what's also clear from this parable is that the first two servants were involving themselves with business ventures in order to make money. The implication here is that in order to bear any kind of fruit, there must be activity, risk, courage, and diligence, especially with regard to the ideas and the skills and the talents that we are entrusted with. I love what Richard Pratt says in his book, Design for Dignity. He says this: the great king has summoned each of us into his throne room. Take this portion of my kingdom, he says. I am making you my steward over your office, your workbench, your kitchen stove. Put your heart into mastering this part of my world. Get it in order. Unearth its treasures. Do all you can with it. Then everyone will see what a glorious king I am. That's why we get up every morning and go to work. We don't labor simply to survive. Insects do that. Our work is an honor, a privileged commission from our great king. God has given each of us a portion of his kingdom to explore and develop to its fullness. And so I think the caveat here is that each of us, regardless of who you are, religious, non-religious, we have been given a divine assignment, an idea, a gift, a calling to develop it into something. And so what's the message here? How does this relate to us today? This parable isn't just about money or wealth. It's about what we do with the talents, the skills, the ideas, the opportunities that we each are given. Like the servants, each of us has been entrusted with at least one unique gift. Now, that gift might be a skill, it could be a passion, or even an opportunity to make a difference in the world. The key takeaway is that these gifts aren't meant to be buried or hidden away. We're meant to use them, whether it's through creativity, helping others, building a business, or even sharing knowledge. Our talents and tools are meant to serve and uplift others. And in return, we derive personal growth, fulfillment, and purpose. So my question to you today is, how are you using the talents that you've been given? Are you investing in them wisely to create a positive impact in the world? Or are you allowing fear and doubt to hold you back from doing what you were called to do? So remember, no matter how large or small your talent may seem, it was entrusted to you for a reason. You're not just capable of multiplying it, but you're also meant to do this for the benefit of others. And so I think, this approach emphasizes the personal responsibility and the universal principle of serving others with the gifts that we've been given. And so today's weekly check-in is an invitation to unlock your potential, to start playing to your strengths and overcoming those self-limiting beliefs. And self-limiting beliefs, by the way, are grounded in fear. Just like the servant who received the one talent, when the master asked him why he did what he did, you know what his words were? He said, "I was afraid." His self-talk was fear. His excuse was rooted in fear. And so the story emphasizes the importance, again, of just not holding on to the opportunities that we have or hiding them out of fear or complacency, but being able to conquer those self-limiting beliefs. And so here's some things we can do to help move that conversation forward. These beliefs are often deeply ingrained in our mindset, in our psyche, about what we can or can't do. And you might have heard yourself saying these things. How many times have you ever said things like, "I'm not good enough to make money from this. Who would buy my product or service?" Or, "I don't have enough experience to start my business," or, "I'm too old," or, "I'm too young to be successful," or, "There's, too much competition out there in the market. Why would anyone want to buy from me?" Do any of these sound familiar? And so to break free from these self-limiting beliefs, we need to recognize that they're happening. So listen to your self-talk, listen to what you're saying, the conversations you're having, challenge them. Ask yourself, is this belief based on fact, or is it a fear that's holding me back? And what's the worst that could happen if I try and fail? What evidence do I have to point to, that supports that this is untrue? So reframe those thoughts, those ideas, those self-limiting beliefs with empowering thoughts. So check it out. Instead of saying things like, "I'm not good enough," try saying, "You know what? I have the unique skills that can add value to others." Instead of saying, "There's too much competition," think in terms of, "There's room for me and my unique perspective in this market." And then ultimately take action. Don't just sit in the complacency, but overcome those beliefs by taking action. Even if it's something small, just start improving just by 1 degree every single day. And eventually you'll be able to push past all of those doubts and those self-imposed limits to a brand new, level of hope and inspiration like you've never known. And, here are some things that you can do to recognize your strengths and play to those strengths, because we're all good at something. We all have at least one gift. Some of us are multi-talented. We have multiple gifts. So for some, maybe it's photography or writing or baking or coaching or crafting or even problem solving in a specific field. What I'm saying is identify what those strengths are and figure out how you can harness them to multiply that into a business model. So think about that. Take a moment this week and think about the things you really enjoy doing most. The tasks that you do without much effort, but you find real joy in completing them. Or it could be areas in which you receive oftentimes praise or recognition, where people say things, to you like, "Man, you're really good at that." Or, people turn to you when they want to solve a problem. Those are all signs that you have a strength in that particular area. You ever hear people telling you things like, "Man, you're really talented. You have a unique way of doing this or that." All of these signs are encouragements that there's something about you. There's a strength, there's a talent, there's something inside that's authentic and aligned with who you are. And so take that next step to be able to multiply, to cultivate those gifts and talents. So you're sitting here tonight, you're wondering, okay, yeah, that's great, but how do I do this? I'm going to give you 5 things that you can do right now, starting today, to raise the bar on your own potential. Once you've identified your strengths, what you're good at, what you feel, what lights you up, what excites you, you want to start with number 1. You want to start thinking bigger. Stretch beyond your vision of yourself. Imagine the best case scenario. What does it look like when that passion of yours, that idea is turned into a sustainable business? Start with that big picture in mind. And then, 2, move to setting bold goals. Like, just be audacious. Set clear and achievable goals that excite and challenge you. And don't just aim for the bare minimum. Stretch yourself to go beyond what even you think is possible, because that's when you'll really grow. That's when your full potential will be tapped. And then third, commit to consistency. Success doesn't happen overnight, it happens over time. It's about showing up every day, even on the days when you don't feel like it. Start small, but stay consistent. One step at a time leads to big progress. And then don't be a perfectionist. Embrace the imperfection. Dream, but don't dream in terms of waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect plan, because if that's the case, you'll be waiting forever. But become comfortable with what's uncomfortable. Learn as you go, adjust your course along the way. And then step 5, it's really important to surround yourself with support. The right community can make all the difference. And so you're already in the right place. This Thrive community is meant to help you tap into the power of this network, of being able to share your wins, your fears, your struggles, to be able to win together. And so this is a really exciting time of building up this community. As I wrap up, all of this great information boils down to you and how you'll act upon it. I believe that we suffer most from what we don't do, as opposed to suffering from what we don't know. We suffer most from what we don't do, and that one thing we don't do is take action. So as you move forward, remember that the only thing standing in your way tonight, today, is you. So start by identifying, playing to your strengths, conquering those self-limiting beliefs, raising the bar on what you think is possible, because that is the launch pad for you being able to transform your life and your business. It's not about being perfect. It's about making progress. You already have everything you need to succeed. Now it's time to just take action and to keep pushing the boundaries of what you can possibly achieve. So the key message is that, again, the underlying theme is that you've been given a talent, you've been given an idea, an opportunity, a skill, an ability that's not meant for you to keep it to yourself. That idea, that opportunity, that talent, that skill is meant to serve and benefit others. So with that, as we conclude, here are the 3 things you can expect out of this Thrive Business Idea Launch System community. 3 things: support, feedback, and exposure. And I'm really excited about the exposure aspect. Oftentimes you get an idea, you get excited about it, and then there's not, you feel like you're locked in, not sure what to do with it. Well, the hope of this community is, by virtue of discussion and weekly meetings, is to generate some momentum around your ideas. And you can do that a number of ways when you hop on to the Facebook page. To help keep our stream fresh with ideas and teeming with inspiration, I just ask that you put a hashtag in front of your of these different markers. So for example, hashtag ask to pose a question, hashtag win to share a victory in moving towards your idea or some type of milestone that you've reached. Put it out there, because that inspires others. Hashtag thrive is used when you want to put out there something you want to work on, be it a business goal, be it an idea that you're trying to further. Hashtag thrive, an area that you need help in. And then hashtag aha is when you get this really cool insight that you've come across in the idea or business building space that you feel would help inspire others. Throw it out there, because that's how we grow. That's how we learn. That's how we stay inspired. And in terms of what's up ahead, preview-wise, soon to release a free masterclass on the top 3 mistakes that people make when they're trying to start their side hustle and what you can do to avoid it. I'm really excited about that. That'll be coming forth soon. And then the waitlist, I'll be opening up a waitlist for the Thrive Business Idea Launch System digital course. This is a fully comprehensive journey from scratch to success. It's an interactive experience that will help you to take your ideas, like I said, from concept to cash flow. And our Facebook community, those in this community, will get a sneak preview of that course and a discounted tuition to be part of this first cohort. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be slamming, not just because I'm doing it, but because of the minds that are going to be around the table. I've got, engaged 2 business coaches, totally accomplished business professionals to help guide your journey. And it's just going to be really phenomenal. So with that, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for sticking around to the end. I hope to see you in upcoming weeks. Every Monday night at 7 p.m., we'll hop on and do these check-ins. Until next time, have an amazing day.